Facebook, not political leaders, ordinary young people talking about Washington 2012. Are you going to be there? And whether you're there or not, what do you want to see come out of it?
American people say, listen, we're ignoring this. Our people are dying. We have to do something.
If they're poor, if they're living in a poor country, if they're a gay man, if they're a woman, does that mean that the world thinks that you're not worth helping?
I think it means that people are disempowered.
Winnie Mandela, it's been 23 years since Nelson Mandela was released from Robben Island.
Is it really 23 years?
Did not seem that long.
I never counted, yes.
What was it like then, the day that he was released, to be forgotten?
I took a deliberate decision.
When? How?
That I would expose myself to the worst of the apartheid regime.
There are thousands and thousands of photographs of you documenting your life, documenting your career. There's one thing that I noticed is that I couldn't find a single picture where you smiled.
Where I smiled?
Yes.
Well, it's hard luck. I don't know what photographers are responsible.
This is your first interview as president of Indonesia and as such leader of 250 million people. When you think of those people, what do you want for them? What do you dream for them?
Saya berasal dari
To prevent urban sprawl, James Chau is in Shanghai, where they're doing just that.
There are a number of features here, especially in terms of the large scale that we're looking at, which are pioneering. It charts a new path. Tell us about some of them.
From an engineering standpoint, it's pretty extraordinary. So it is.
But with it all behind a glass facade, will it integrate or isolate?
James Chau is in Shanghai, where they're trying to tackle this issue.
What's the biggest challenge today for Shanghai's transport network? Mass public transport is one answer to getting people off the roads, but doing this efficiently is an issue, and that's why we've come here to the Hongqiao Transportation Hub. I work in AIDS advocacy with the United Nations, and through that, I meet individuals who inspire me. Lynn is one of those people. She's a mother, she's an executive at Standard Chartered, but she still finds the time to be active about a cause that she cares about, and one that's important to us all. If we're going to beat HIV and AIDS, we're going to need more people to get involved. It's the fusing of those ideas that creates a bit of magic. And so then you get people who think, never heard of that before, or what about this? And when all these different balls collide, that's when something different happens. My name is James Chau. I live in Beijing, and I'm a television news anchor. Because I have checked with 3 independent sources, and I've also seen a document myself. In black and white, it does say that either the pilot or co-pilot, presumably, and that's still being investigated, said, "Good night, Malaysian 370. The significance of... 李乐，如果他现在会听我们说话，你现在跟他说什么？
我就儿子，妈妈等你回来，找我们亲人的人磕头。我谢谢你们给我们找亲人。
The breaking news from Beijing with me, James Chau. The latest we're hearing from the Philippine hostage crisis in downtown Manila is that gunshots have been heard in the last couple of minutes as police prepare. We can count at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and possibly 8. Gunshots being fired from inside the bus now.
Let's talk to Colin Graffy former US Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. And in Beijing is James Chau, a TV presenter. Good morning to you both. Is President Xi seen as being ultimately, in Chinese terms, a reformer?
He acknowledged that it was often the case of non-state actors involved in these attacks. But I think at age of 3, you fled with your family first to Uganda. The start of decades of life as an exile, as a refugee. That despite the dehumanizing, despite being stripped of the dignity, what made you believe that you even had rights? What made you believe that you had the right to be better than you were told that you were?
Asking my father, what did you do? What did you do that we are here?
You and the First Lady have 4 children, Ian, Ivan, Brian, and your daughter Ange.
I didn't even know, names of my children, and but thank you for doing that. So, but
it's Wikipedia.
It all starts from home. Okay.
Well, Yomi was born in the countryside outside of Pyongyang, but life as her family knew it came to a complete stop when her father was arrested and sentenced to 17 years in prison. So to get themselves out of that situation, your mum offered herself, and her mother was raped in front of her. You've started cultivating this activist voice, and I know that it's still a very, very new voice, only in the last couple of months.
Please welcome Mr. James Chau to the stage.
I don't think any of us could ever begin to understand the loss of flight MH17 and our friends who are on there. Way to say thank you for using your heart and your skills.
Yeah, thank you.
Unless you want to design the 2016 one right now as well. And during the struggle for apartheid, he would say this, that if you fight alone, then you are just one. But then if you fight together, you are everything. Good night, God bless, and have a great AIDS 2014.